Imagine you're in a room full of people. Someone throws a provocation at you, sharp, personal, aimed directly at your most painful point. Everyone freezes. Everyone waits for your reaction. And you smile. Not because you don't care, but because your brain operates on a different level. Most people in this moment explode. Their ego boils over. Pride demands a response. Adrenaline skyrockets. They lose the battle before they say their first word, because whoever reacts emotionally has already lost. But there are others. Those who maintain calm when the whole world tries to throw them off balance, who see provocation and simply don't take the bait. And this isn't about self-control in its primitive understanding, grit your teeth and endure. This is about something much deeper. True calm isn't the absence of reaction, it's the presence of choice. And people who've mastered this art have 5 rare traits that make them psychologically unreachable. Today, I'll show you these 5 traits. And if you recognize yourself in at least one, write in the comments. Let's go. Trait 1. They see the game where others see a threat. Listen carefully. When someone provokes you, they're playing a game with your emotions. They throw out a hook and wait for you to bite. Most people bite instantly. They can't help themselves. Their ego demands a response, and they lose. Calm people understand this at an instinctive level. They see provocation and instantly recognize the pattern. Their brain switches to observer mode. Imagine a chess player looking at the board. They don't think, how dare he move there? They think, interesting move. What is he trying to do? This is called metacognition, the ability to observe your own thoughts from the outside. When you see the game, you stop being a pawn. You become a player. Or even better, you simply leave the game. Because the most powerful position is not to play at all. Practice. Next time you feel provocation, ask yourself, what game are they trying to pull me into? This one question will switch your brain from reaction mode to analysis mode. You'll step out of emotion and see the picture from the outside. Trait 2. They have an anchor inside. Here's what's interesting. When most people face provocation, their inner world starts shaking. Why? Because their self-worth depends on external opinion, on what others think of them, how they're perceived. This is catastrophic, because if your value is outside, anyone can take it away. One comment, one look, one phrase, and you're destroyed. Calm people have built an anchor inside themselves, deep, unshakable. They know who they are, not in words, but at bone level. Psychologists call this an internal locus of control. In plain language, this is inner strength. When someone tries to hurt you, they're attacking the image of you in their head, not the real you. And if you know this, provocation loses all its power. It's like someone shouting at your photograph. You can observe this with curiosity, but it doesn't concern you, because you're here and they're attacking there in their imagination. Practice. Ask yourself, what in me doesn't depend on others' opinions? Your values, your principles, your essence. When you know the answer to this question, you become impenetrable, because others' words no longer define your worth. Trait 3. They are masters of the pause. The most powerful weapon in communication isn't words, not arguments, it's the pause. When you're provoked, your brain wants to respond immediately. This is the ancient part of the brain, the amygdala. It's responsible for survival. It sees provocation as a threat and screams, act, defend, attack. But calm people have learned not to listen to this voice. They pause. 1 second, 2, 5. In this pause, magic happens. The prefrontal cortex activates, the rational part of the brain. It evaluates the situation. It asks the question, is this worth my energy? And in 90% of cases, the answer is no. The pause creates space between stimulus and response. In this space lives your freedom. Viktor Frankl, who survived the concentration camp, said it best. Between stimulus and response, there's a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Calm people live in this space constantly. Practice. When you feel the impulse to respond to provocation, count to 5. Slowly. Breathe. Feel how the emotion loses its grip. This isn't weakness, this is control. This is power over yourself. Trait 4. They understand projection. Here's the harsh truth. When someone attacks you, they're almost never talking about you. They're talking about themselves, about their fears, about their pain, about their insecurity. Psychology calls this projection. A person transfers their internal conflicts onto the external world, onto you. Imagine, someone accuses you of selfishness, aggressively, furiously. Ask yourself, who's really selfish? The one demanding that you abandon your boundaries for their sake. Calm people see this instantly. They don't take provocation personally because it's not about them. This is liberating. When you understand that someone else's anger is their internal storm, not your fault, everything changes. You can empathize or simply step aside, but you don't absorb this poison. You don't make it yours because it never was yours. Practice. When someone attacks you, ask, what in them is causing this reaction? Not to judge, but to understand. This switches you from victim position to observer position, and the provocation loses power. Trait 5. They chose power over being right. This is the hardest trait because our ego loves being right. It screams, prove it, show them. But calm people understood the secret. Being right is a trap because even if you prove you're right, what do you get? 2 minutes of satisfaction, an enemy for life, a ruined mood for the whole day. Calm people choose power over their state, not power over others, power over themselves. They ask themselves the question, what's more important, proving I'm right or keeping my peace? And they choose peace every time. This isn't weakness. This is the highest form of strength because a weak person can't control their reactions. They're pulled like a puppet on strings. A strong person chooses when to react and when not to. They're master of their mind, and no one can take that control from them. No one. Practice. Before proving you're right, ask, what will this give me? If the answer is ego satisfaction, let it go. If the answer is problem solution, act calmly, without emotions. Putting it all together. You see the game, not the threat. You have an anchor inside. You're a master of the pause. You understand projection. You chose power over being right. This isn't just skills. This is personality transformation. This is transition from reactivity to awareness, from weakness to strength, from chaos to peace. And here's what happens when you become this person. People around you feel it. They feel your energy. Provocateurs lose interest in you because you no longer give them what they seek, reaction. Manipulators leave because your mind is impenetrable, and those who stay respect you deeply. Because calmness is a magnet for conscious people and a repellent for toxic ones. But the most important thing happens inside you. You start living from the center, not from the periphery. Your life is no longer controlled by others' moods. Your energy doesn't leak into meaningless conflicts. You're free, truly free. Not because there are no provocations around, but because they no longer have power over you. This is true psychological strength, not aggression, not domination, not manipulation, calmness, unshakable, deep, conscious calmness. And when you master this, you master life, because whoever controls their mind controls everything. Remember this. Next time someone tries to throw you off balance, remember these 5 traits. Make the pause, see the game, feel your anchor, understand the projection, choose power, and watch as the provocation dissolves into air, powerless, empty, because you're no longer playing this game. You've risen above it, and that makes you unreachable. Like if this video hit home, subscribe to become psychologically unshakable, and write in the comments which trait resonated most strongly.